Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I've got a very chaotic, high-rated 5v5 for you today. I had to do a whole bunch of stuff to get this replay to work. The original game desynced. I got copies of the local files. Those also desynced. I had to go to JIP to fork the FAF develop code off of GitHub, and I had to set that up and run the game inside that in order to get it to not desync. So it's going to be a good one. As you can see, 5v5 here, custom map gen. We're playing on this giant letter N. It was made by the AI, and as we all know, AIs are incredibly racist, so we'll let this N shape go. What's in the chat? Well, we've got some player of the skies. Do you want to take plateaus? So Raelia's talk about these very important plateaus. Slado is being an enormous weeb. I don't care, and farms don't care. Farm workers don't care about something. Do fun stuff. UEF bomber GG. Nice. Okay, I'm not really sure what they're talking about there. So let's talk through our teams. At the lowest rated player in the game, we've got Soul Ripper Noob. He's playing Pink Girly Aeon. At the back, we've got Boom Noob in Blood Red at UEF. At the front, we've got Dreamer Lazy in Orange UEF. Then we've got Slado Noob, and he is making a UEF bomber first. Questionable decision there. With one P-Gen. Question. Also on the team, and highest rated player on the team, we've got Wheelie. He went 2 P-Gen bomber first. Also UEF, so double UEF first bomber, and that's really interesting because these are the only bombers in the game that are Tech 1 that allow you to kill P-Gens. And what this means is that with 2 Tech 1 bombers, you could essentially immediately kill a line of Tech 1 P-Gens like this. You drop the bombs here, and with 2 of them, plus the burning effect, unless there's a really clutch repair order given, you delete that, and then you come here and you delete this, and it would absolutely cripple them. So we'll see if that's what they're going for. That would be incredibly spicy. No, it isn't. Slado picks off an expanding engineer here from Terrari. The Wheelie picks off an expanding engineer from Toka, so delaying these mechs expansions. There you go, there you go, there's the burning effect. As you can see, the damage on those P-Gens is pretty heavy. It is going to be enough to kill 3 P-Gens there, so that bomber does pay for itself. What's the Wheelie going to get with his bomber? He's just going to be bombing Toka's ACU, which is not affected by that. He just seems to be... He's just standing there menacingly. The Wheelie does manage to... He does manage to get away with a tiny bit of health, and the reason for that is that he has veterancy, which gives his bomber slightly more regen. Is he going for these engineers? No, he didn't see them. He's going for the factory. That Inti got crushed. Nice. So, quite a bit of damage there. Now, Wheelie has opted to expand up here, because this really should be going to his allies. Terrari did not feel the same way, and as you can see, he started slurping these mexes, so a bit of a difference. So let's talk about Team 2's players. We've got Terrari, 2600, a very experienced team game player here. Very strong. We've got Toka, don't really know who this is, haven't seen him on ladder before. We've got Steve McQueen. We've got, in red, we've got Red UEF Jiraj, and last but definitely not least, we've got Raylia. Now, Raylia is a new player to the game, but already 2100. One of the new prospects on the top-rated players, so nice to see that. There's a lot of chat, and I'm not going to be able to keep up with it this game because this game is incredibly chaotic. However, I am going to leave it nice and large so you guys can see it and you can enjoy the salt, okay? That's how we're going to do it. Right, so let's check out the ACU movements. As you might expect, Soul Ripper Noob, he is advancing to the middle. So is Dreamer Lazy, very good. And so is Slado. They're doing something like this. Team 2, the slightly further behind, but they're basically doing this, and we're going to get a bit of an unusual map split. Raylia also coming over here, and Raylia has taken the top plateau here. That's very nice for him. Soul Ripper, if you would like to use your balls, that's perfect, thank you. Good job. Now there is a bomber coming. We'll see if that does a lot of damage. This bomber did not work out. That would have been a clutch bomb on all those engineers, but it didn't work. And it feels like the map might actually get split. Not as you might expect like this, but actually like this. And that is going to be so chaotic. The battle line is basically going to be land to land across the entire map at point blank. Speaking of point blank, Soul Ripper is in trouble here. Terrari is a small 800 rating points higher than him and is being an absolute tryhard rat. Look at this factory blocking, just ruining the pathfinding. That is sexual harassment right there. The Aeon diplomat's going to be very upset about that. This is very much a non-consensual three-way. He keeps bumping him like that. I feel like Soul Ripper might just get ejected here. There's very little he can do. He doesn't have enough units to support. All he can really do is try and blow... He'd actually blow up all the air. That's a nice little bonus. Okay, so what's else happened? Boom Noob has managed to get here. But he's not doing anything with his engineers either. This is the AFK plateau down here. Not particularly hot. Bomber was attempted to kill all of the engineers, but that's going to get shot down. Up here, it looks like there were some raiding units and some more bombers, but that didn't work out. There's some drops happening. Now, this is an interesting upgrade. Normally, if you're in your base, you would never do Tech 2 like this. You would get gun, because there's a threat right here, right? This is like MML range. This is gun push time. And Aurelia is doing the sensible thing of gun pushing, honestly. Toka and Terrari, obviously, are doing a sensible thing and pushing this base off. Now, the base got passed over to Dreamer. And Dreamer is going to come and try and defend down here against these two ACUs. He has unit support this time. And Terrari is low. Trading, if you're at 1900, you trade when at 2600. It's not that bad for your team. So there's potential for some real aggression here. The Wheelie has started a Tech 1 air transport. If he's trying to drop his ACU, his T2 ACU with that, he's pressed the wrong button, I think, right? That's not Tech 2. Unless I'm seeing that wrong and it expands when it lands. Now, we might need to split here because Terrari's potentially in trouble. Try and keep an eye on this in the middle. There's a bit of fighting in the middle, but the real action is down here. Terrari has been forced away. There's a whole bunch of Auroras. They're not going to let Toka get away for free either. Boom Noob seems to be coming down south into this fight. Make it a little bit easier for you to see. And Toka is taking fire. But wait a minute, we have a double comm drop. We have a double comm drop. It's Slado and the Wheelie, and they're going to be landing here. Toka is getting taken down here. I think we're going to have to disappear. He dies. We're going to drop straight into the base. It's a double comm drop. The Wheelie's making Tech 1 PD. So what is Slado doing? He's reclaiming engineers. Does he even have Tech 2? No, this is a naked comm. He's just dropped it. Let's go. This Mex gets deleted just as it made it to T2. That's incredibly sad. So we've got a double push here. On the bottom, we've got two gun comms running into the Wheelie's old base. He's got nothing but a Tech 2 PD and he's making gunships. On the top, the Wheelie and Slado being hyper aggressive here. They've dropped in Raelia's base. He's making Tech 1 factories. He's making PD. Slado is locked in eternal conflict with this Tech 1 PD here. Quite funny. Now, will this base be able to defend? I don't know why they don't just push in. Oh, it's because of the gunships. Okay. On the bottom, Terrari has been pushed into the water here. You can see on the map. We'll need to keep the map up so you can see what else is going on. Is Raylia going to die here? So there's already PD being spammed. So Steve McQueen is making sensible decisions. He might need to make an RT, depending on what these two players do. If they set up shields and PD here. This engineer here being an absolute chad, making a PD behind enemy lines. If we quickly zoom out to the map, we can see that there's another Tech 2 transport, and that's for Boom Noob. He's coming all the way back. The gunships are going to be used to deal with the Wagners, so Steve McQueen made a whole bunch of Wagners. Raylia is in trouble here. Is he going to make it back to the water? Jiraj can't even make Tech 1 anti-A's. He decided not to. So Raylia gets taken down. This base is now going to go begging. I don't know who's going to get that. It looks like the Wagners aren't going to make much difference here. Steve McQueen is in the middle of nowhere, getting bombed and gunshipped and harassed by everything. Terrari is stuck in the corner, and it's the action. It's all going to be up here at the top. It's the Wheelie who's really carrying this with his base building. The other two ACUs are they've got nothing except overcharge and their standard weapons. He's eating so much MML fire here. There's really little point trying to make TMD as well against this kind of, especially against Vipers, because the missiles will just split. They have to go and overcharge these, really. What's this? Is this another Viper? No, Beetles! That's a great plan. So Beetle's going to move in as well. The Wheelie's trying to move out of range of the Vipers, but the Vipers are actually faster than him, so that's not going to work either. And amidst all this chaos, Terrari has managed to secure both the plateaus by kind of absorbing the bases on Allied death, but the Wheelie looks like he's going to be abandoning this position. There is a Girage waiting here. He's look at him, just submerged. He's just biding his time here. He could potentially be getting gun and fighting here, but he's not. Let's go on to the players' views. Well, they can see that Terrari's down here, but they can't hit him because he's in the side of the terrain with that sub. Okay, so they can't get him technically. A lot of Tech 1 air for Boom Noob, and bombers and gunships all being rallied in. So Team 1 have a lot of air power right now. It looks like Terrari's going to be trying to airlift himself out. Dreamer is still fighting Tech 1 land. TML upgrade for the Wheelie. Can he even afford that? It seems like he can. He must have a T2P gen. He does have a T2P gen, but he doesn't have the mass. He's plus 37, minus 100. I have literally never seen players this high rated do that with their eco. Be like minus 350% eco. But it's a very chaotic game. Now, Terrari has been given enough time and eco and base to do stuff. He's going to start raiding with Yenzines. His ACU is coming back. In moves Slado. He's got gun. He needs to overcharge these PDs, really. It looks like he did temporarily push the MMLs away, but they just moved up here, so it's not like it's made a big difference. Boom Noob covers him, which is nice team play. I'm just slightly concerned about Girage here. He's working on something. He is working on gun. The Wheelie has finished TML. He's loading that. He's got engineers assisting from Boom Noob. There's no TMD anywhere in the base. He can delete this immediately. One TML deletes this. That is the best TML placement that he could possibly do right now. Terrari seems to be slightly AFK with his ACU, but he's doing a whole bunch of management of essentially 4 bases, so you can't blame him for that. Now, what will the Wheelie use his TML ACU on? Because they're getting kicked out. These Vipers are being incredibly damaging. Well, it looks like the TML has been spotted. The factory has been protected. The engineers are producing more. They really need to triple gun push this immediately. Because the Zapper... Oh, it takes out another PD. But Girage is ready down here. We've got a Steve McQueen's ACU versus Dreamer's ACU down here. Now, Steve McQueen could potentially have made torpedo, like the nanite torpedo launcher. Girage pops out. We'll just stick with both of these two because Girage has decided now is the time to press in. He almost gets a kill on Boom Noob, but then gets victimized by the gunships. Steve McQueen's getting dunked on by those torp bombers. Nothing he can really do about that. He's so far away from home. In comes a Tech 2 Ghetto gunship onto Slado, who gets a rank up in veteracy just at the right time. That was absolutely clutch. He was dead for sure without that. The Ghetto does about 2,000 damage to him, even with that. Where were those... where were these headed? There's a huge airfight over the battlefield. It's really chaotic, difficult to tell what's going on. Slado's getting napalmed. Another Ghetto comes in for him. it does so much damage. Oh, gets taken down. The gunships, Volthus, are on him as well. Now, the Volthus are like Tech 2.5 now. These got rebalanced in the latest FAF version. And these two are not on the same team, by the way. These are enemies. They're just... They're trying to kill each other, by the way. They're just chilling next to each other, but they are trying to kill each other. Janus now are going to be used against the wheelie, I think. There's nothing he can really do about that. He's all out of anti-air. He's getting burned. 3,000 damage there. Jiraj is in the middle. Can he see both these ACUs? Seems to be looking for them. This is a double elimination. The explosion for Jiraj's ACU will kill them. He can see the wheelie. He can 2 for 1 here. He does. GG. Jiraj waited so patiently for that opportunity. He types in chat, let's go. He takes down a 2300 and a 2600 with a real Allahu Akbar moment there. Blows himself up, takes down both ACUs. And this is now a 1v1. We've lost 8 players already at 15 minutes. It's incredibly chaotic. We've got gunships up here taking this apart. This is still around. Everything is idle all over the place as both players start to take control of like 5 bases. The chat's out of control as well. There's all of these hunters here. Gunships trying to clean up spam. We've got air from both players, really, but these Janus could be rallied in right now to do huge damage to the A grid. There's almost no anti-air here if they can get past these. So let's have a look at Dreamer's view. He can see everything. Total mass, 167k of mass is what he owns. Let's look at Terrari. 75. Less than half. He has less than half to work with. Map control wise, he's losing this. Surely he's not going to get given this. The Janus potentially can kill a whole bunch of inties here. Janus are very strong. No, the gunship's going to get away, though. That's the important thing. TML in mid. It is loaded. This should be making flax, really. If you're going to make a TML in mid, it's always worth it, really, to go for a shield or a stealth gen. So these mobile missile launchers here, they've got great veterancy on each. Look at this one. Gunships are harassing in the middle. Where are the flaks? That is a tech, almost at tech 3. That's absolutely crippling to lose this. I think this is his only T3 land HQ. In come a whole bunch of swift winds. That's a nice decision. Down all the Volthus go. 1800 hit points, by the way. Hugely tanky. The Inties come to rescue them and they get dunked on too. That was perhaps not great. In come a whole bunch of Janus. Surely they're going to finish off. Yes, they're ground fired on here. They might even pick up the P-Gen as well. It did get to T3. Did it have enough health? No, it didn't. It did get to T3, but it wasn't enough. Almost took out TTP Gen as well. All of the air has basically been rallied. It looks like it's in a big control group here. What is this? We got fighters, bombers, scouts, swift winds. Look at the amount of stuff. Torp bombers, T3 scouts, and ASF in a big blob. Nice. He's just going to be attack moving that all around the map. He is stalling E slightly. Terrari, on the other hand, well, he's got mass in storage. Look at that. Dreamer is so much richer. If we look at the mass, it's 450 to 150. By any stretch of the imagination, this game should be over. Okay, it should be over. Now, if we look at what Team 1 are saying, they're saying, have you got 450 mass income? They're mocking his small mass size. Don't mock a man's mass size, okay? He can't help it. He was born with it when his team died.
Hmm? What?
So small.
No part of me's small!
Team 2, by the way, is saying, don't play it out normally, go for a snipe. Terrari sends back shit team. Oh no. Oh, blame the team. All the air is rallied up here. It never even finished this off. Luckily, there is a small number of specters here which are dealing with. I think technically these can hit the. Did you see that? He just deliberately killed a Tech 2 gunship with Tech 1 RT by ground firing. What an absolute monster. Can he get another one? Can he get a hit on camera this time? Some of those shots were close. I think he did get a hit. Look at that. That one's actually damaged. This one was actually damaged by that. He did get a hit, just not quite enough. So Terrari is going for Janus spam. Look at those glorious democracy winged beasts there. Fun fact, if you do manage to accumulate enough Janus, you will crash FAF. I can't remember the exact number you need. I think it's like 450, but if you do bomb someone with 450 Janus, the game will die. Just because of the fire explosion effect. I don't know if that's still true, but it was definitely true like maybe a year ago. We've got a very bold air move here. There's a lot of Swifties, but those Swifties have been sacrificed. Now, Terrari is an absolutely monstrous... Why has this transport been rallied in here? That's questionable. Monstrous 1v1 player, whereas a lot of the other players don't necessarily do so much 1v1. So, are you going to fight someone like that? Slado is saying, don't fly into the flak. There is a lot of flak here. Chilling behind this Tech 1 radar. Now, radar-wise... Oh, you can see the ACU. So the ACU has been scouted. And Terrari was pinged at some point. Wherever when he was stuck down here, he was pinged with a rat icon. That's a strong opinion. That may have been Soul Ripper who was doing that. Because he got cheesed at the start. Toka says it's GG. But it is not over until it's over. If you watch these games that I cast, you'll know that it ain't over till the fat lady sings, always. A lot of times with the high-rated players, it is over because they don't make many mistakes. But in this case, the game is not over. Oh my goodness, Terrari's losing so much eco to these gunships. That is absolutely disgusting. It's just... He's managed to get another 100, and Dreamer must be stalling E. Yeah, he's stalling E, that's why his eco is not 450 anymore. So technically, eco-wise, technically Terrari is catching up. There's just so many idle things. I feel like Dreamer doesn't quite have the APM to deal with all this. He's got so many Janus, he could just click all Janus and then like attack move up here, and that would get rid of it. He could be using his gunships to attack this. He could be removing 3 or 4 things on the map at the same time. Terraria gets behind the gunships here, and I think Dreamer's gonna let him get away with that. All of the other gunships and Swifties and Inties and everything is rallied in. He can kill all of the Janus here if he plays this right. Why is he running like this? He has more than enough to kill these Janus. This is just building gunships. A lot of these, like, mexes aren't being rebuilt. Jiraj says, last hope. It's 2 Wagners. Plan B. The top ACU, good dude. So what are Terrari's options here? Playing a standard macro game out seems almost impossible from this area, right? I feel like Dreamer Lazy could basically kill him at any time with this air. He has so much air. The Flax and the Sams here will not be enough. It just won't be enough. So he can go for a snipe, basically. And with the Seraphim, to kill this, maybe a teleport kind of deal where he goes T3, teleport, builds Tech 1 torp launchers. bumps him to keep in the water, that would work. Otherwise, he needs to win air. He needs to wait for an air engagement, and then they have Aeon. They don't have Aeon tech. So he could make Solaces. If he could sneak Solaces around here, he could definitely kill Dreamer. In like 4 or 5 Solaces would just kill him straight up. One pass right now. But they don't have Aeon tech, so that's not possible. The Torp bombers are much, much slower. This was still left alive! How on earth did Dreamer come up here with all of these gunships? How many gunships are we talking? 21 broadswords. A whole bunch of stingers. And then we've got all of these bombers as well. And he managed to not kill this. He just needs to attack command them. Just grab this, do this, and then back. Just get rid of everything. Just get rid of your opponent's vision. Says Derp, the 1400 rated scrub lord. This is nice. I like this. What is this building? TMLs. That is a lot of TMLs. Holy Jesus. How many TMLs do you need, my dude? Just put them in here under a shield. That's going to cook his eco. He's already stalling 5000 E. Oh, it's because he's doing RAS. I'm not sure doing RAS in a 1v1 situation like this when you have Tech 1 mechs everywhere is worth it, my friend. I think Terrari is making 300 Riptide factories when we have air control. Is he building Riptide factories? He is building a lot of Riptide factories. So, take back air control. He's got a small air grid here. It's more than Dreamer has. And then get back air control somehow. And then spam Riptides or Torp Bombers or both. Why is this still alive? Slado says make nuke. I mean, he could definitely make a nuke. But he also has enough air here to just instantly end the game. Even if he sent all of this air in and deleted, like, all of this, that's half of everything Terrari has. He doesn't need to make good trades. He's got double the... Terrari is caught up on eco, nearly. Dreamer doesn't even need to make good trades. He just needs to demolish Terrari's stuff. But Dreamer has stopped ecoing. He has 0 T3 mechs. Terrari has quite a lot of T3 mechs. Is this going to be the 3rd or 4th time these gunships have done a path of this island and not killed everything? So the Wagners, speedy boys. What can these TMLs reach? Ah, they can't reach the air grid. He only needed to build them a little bit further with the shield to make them kill the air grid. He can still get every single... Oh, he could actually kill this. Like 3 or 4 TMLs here, kills this, and then... Oh no, he actually does have another one. What he could really use right now is an Omni. He really doesn't have any radar signatures for Terrari's base. So the bottom gets cleaned up. Still overwhelming air control and mass for Dreamer. He's shot up to 600. He may have finished that air stall. He has 0 adjacency anywhere. But he has started ecoing, so he's playing long term. There's a big TML launch here. Is that going for the HQ? It does seem like that would be the best target. That is a big oof right there. That's a very expensive. When is Dreamer going to use his units? More TMLs being shift G'd in here. We're going to... A whole bunch of mechs is going to go down. But the real eco and value is up here. What's this? Double T3 engineer drop. Okay. The Terrari loses almost all of his Janus there. Somewhat unnecessarily. Just goes into the ASF with them. ASF numbers climbing though. We've got 34 for Terrari and 40 for Dreamer. So air is quite close. If they fight now and Terrari goes air fight of priority, there's a pretty good chance that he might be able to win air. The Inties will complicate things, as will the Janus. A whole bunch of strats out too. Slado typing in chat that he thinks the tier list might need to be changed. That is a fantasy tier list that all of the top players subscribe to, which rates the top players. It's a bit of a meme. Huge number of TMLs. This is so expensive. He has 13,000 mass in TMLs. That's very scary. Just a couple of Cougars and fight air, and he can win. Dreamer can win this. Remember, he's a lot lower rated than Terrari. I know he's 1900, but he is a lot lower rated. And he might not play 1v1s very often. Ah, not the gunships! Oh, Terrari let him off there. We got Restorers now. Now, they are better at anti-air than the other gunships. Not sure why they're... We've got Land Invade here, we've got Percivals, but they tend to be just fighting tanks rather than being put on mechs priority. They did take down 5 mechs there, so it was still worth it. Girage says he is zoomed in base. Understandable. Although if you were zoomed in on your base like this, you probably wouldn't have all this stuff idle. Like, you probably delete the tech 1, like assist this, do an upgrade, especially if you've got he's stalling a lot of mass. I think the TMLs probably aren't helping, and also not capturing the mexes isn't helping either, because he's got a lot of idle engineers. He does have some Serenities up, and they're going to start punishing the shields at the front, which is nice. See, they do damage over time, Serenities, and they can fire whilst moving. Pretty interesting unit. He does have enough to overwhelm this. If he just moves his gunships, I still think if he just moves his gunships, he probably kills the whole air grid. There's just too much here for these SAMs to kill. He just needs to move in, protect them with that, and he can win. If Terrari had the mass for a single Tech 2 arty, by the way, he would have killed so many broadswords with it. He's losing the TMLs to broadswords over here. All of the air and gunships and everything is going to be rallied over to deal with that. Oh, he's going to get a great attack here on the gunships. Dreamer isn't looking with his air. He's going to get engaged from the side. His air does fight. There are no SAMs or flaks or anything coming to help on the ground. Terrari makes a TML of his own. And it looks like that's a decisive air win for Terrari. All these gunships still not being given orders. They're just being left to die. He baited, I think Terrari may have baited that and then swooped in with his air. That was a really good attack there. There's only one flak defending, and these poor broadswords are having a very sad day. So what will Terrari do with his new found air power? Well, he's going to be attacking. This is also a very smart move. We've got Navy. Potentially he could have gone Navy a lot earlier and spammed cruisers. A Novax is completed by Dreamer, so going the UEF turtle route, I mean, it's not like making a fat boy would help him in any way. He starts shield, which is pretty sensible. I suspect he might be about to be attacked. What he really needs is SAMs here. He might be better off coming into the land and building SAMs. Because, well, Terrari's going full gunships. All the TMLs die. They didn't really kill anything, but they did force a lot of TMD. Mass-wise, it is 750 to 350, so still double the advantage. All of these units could quite happily be rallied into this base on attack move. These Lobos would demolish this. But there's a lot of air, and not really any attempt to take it back. Still just producing ASF out of 2 factories here with adjacency to the Hydro. What is Terrari focusing on? Well, it looks like he's building PD here. And SAMs. He's queued up a few SAMs. He's also building Lobos out of here. And he's spammed up factories, but they're just producing Tech 1. He really needs flak, to be honest. He's producing Tech 1 tanks out of here. It might be because he lost a HQ. Is that what happened? I feel like he might have lost a HQ, and that's what's caused him to suffer a bit here. Yeah. He can't do anything other than produce Tech 1 units. And they are not going to help him versus T3 gunships. Now, Terrari is safe from the Novax. But it is going to help with the scouting. But Dreamer does not have any defense against these Torps. He sends in his ASF, but he's got like 4 ASF in that cloud and very few in this one. He's going only after the Torps. He starts a flak, but the flak there probably not going to do that well against a whole horde of T3 gunships. The broadsword's just going to be chilling over the base with those massive plasma cannons. Down goes the flak. 6,000 hit points on each of these gunships. The shield is working really well, but he can't come out of the water because the DPS on these is much higher. He does start building SAMs, but it's a little bit too late with these T3 engineers. He could potentially be rallying all of his units, you can see on the map here. Potentially be rallying all of these in. He does do that, I think, but this one's a bit idle still. Down into the hull damage. His shield's failed. Getting torped to death. Looks like there's no way out for Dreamer now. Unfortunately, that is a brilliant comeback from Terrari, who is still down 2-1 in mass. And Slado complains that he wasn't even hover bombing the Torps? Question mark. That is a really great game. That was so chaotic, and we have 2 score buttons. Look, just FAF dev things. Now let me know what you think about this one. Do not be too mean to poor Dreamer. I don't know who this actually is. Probably because you know all FAF players change their names like incredibly quickly. Every month they change their names. It's like the Zoomers changing TikTok videos. That's how often they change their nicknames. So I don't know who this actually is. Basically forced to take on 6 bases against one of the best 1v1 players in the world. So, you know, don't be too mean. That's going to wrap it up for today. I hope you really enjoyed this game. I thought this was a great one. Definitely one of the best games that's happened so far this year. There have been a couple others, but I think some other people casted them first, so I kind of avoided it. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you next time.